So for this video, we're going to talk about how to find the inverse. This is something I'm going to ask you to do on paper also and turn in as a Dropbox assignment. I want to see you actually working out a particular problem. So we have some steps. The first is to check to see if it's one-to-one. So put this in your calculator and check it out. I'll just graph it out. It just takes a second. I know this is going to go to the right 2 and up 4, and I know the shape of the graph. The shape of the graph looks like that because it's a square root. So here's my graph. This is 1, 1. No matter where you draw a horizontal line, it's just crossing in one spot. So for this, we check it off. All right, it's 1 to 1. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow a particular order of events. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set y equal to f of x. That looks like this. Y is the square root of x minus 2 plus 4. Now, with the Khan Academy videos, you may have seen this done a little bit different, but this is how I do it. So whatever works for you. I'm going to interchange x and I'm going to interchange it with y. So I'm going to rewrite it like x is equal to the square root of y minus 2 plus 4. So basically everything's the same except I changed the x and changed the y. Now this does go with the fact that the domain and range do interchange as well. So you know, it makes sense that it works. The third step that the way I organize it is we solve for y, and this is going to be your most complex step. No matter what the equation is, we have to be able to solve this. See, one thing that we can't do is just square the right hand side and be done with that square root. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away 4. I'm going to subtract 4. That's how I pull it away. And I will see that I'll have x minus 4 is the square root of y minus 2. Now, at this point, this is how I want to be able to square it. So now I'm going to square this side because that gets rid of the square root on the right. This is the only way to get rid of the square root too. You can't do it any other way. So at this point, I have x minus 4 squared is y minus 2. And so I'm going to take this and I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I have then y is equal to x minus 4 squared plus 2. Now, the only problem with this is that this is not one-to-one. In fact, what it's going to look like is a parabola. I'm going to the right 4. I'm going to go up 2. And it's going up as well, and I won't worry about the particular points exactly. I just want to show you this. This is not one-to-one. We have to figure out if we're going to need the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the graph, and because we have to limit our domain. Kind of hard, but one trick that I would suggest is that you take this graph and you find the domain and the range of it. Since the domain and range interchange, just like those points interchange in previous homework that you've had, we'll be able to take this domain and range and figure out which sides will work for this to make it the inverse. So at this point, I look at this graph and I see that my domain actually starts at 2 and it just goes to infinity. Now my range starts at 4 and it goes to infinity. This is the point, remember, 2, 4. The domain are the x values, the range is the y values. So that's what we have. So over here, what I need I need the graph that has the domain to be 4 to infinity and range to be 2 to infinity. That's what I need. So you could kind of just shorten it and just say, oh, well, I know that x needs to be greater than or equal to 4 because of what is here on our domain. So if that's the case, I'm going to let my inverse be this, and I'm going to put a comma there, and this should take care of it. Now, what does that mean for this graph? Well, let's look at it. Here is 4, so this is where I am. It means it's just the right-hand side of it. So technically, I can scratch all of this out and get rid of it. And in fact, I actually have a little eraser here. I can just get rid of it like that. And that's the actual inverse of our original function. Now, you could put it on the same graph, and you would see that they are a reflection of one another, especially if you're using graph paper. But the only other step is, just number 4 here. Oop, no, sorry, this is just to make sure that you have the right domain. Set the new y equal to f inverse of x. So once we have that, once we have this set up, we can write it. And it's only these that give you a parabola, or if you start with a parabola that you really have to think hard about it. But this is going to be our function that we're looking for. So I hope this helps. You will have to do this by hand, writing out these steps. So now you have a video to view to see how to do that. Thanks.